Hi, my name's Cameron, and I'm the incoming lead pastor here at Village Baptist Church. And when speaking of the church, Paul in 1 Corinthians uses the image of a body. And he does this to draw attention to an important part of the nature of the church. That as Christians, our impact is multiplied when we join together. And this isn't because we're all the same, far from it, it's because we're all different. And it's through joining our many differences together, differences in strength, and gifting and ability, that we can most effectively reach our community and serve one another and show the world what the community of God can look like. It is with this in mind, of multiplied impact through coming together, that the pastors and elders of both Village Baptist and Arohanui Christian Centre unanimously believe that the Holy Spirit is leading us to unite our two churches. Now for many, I'm sure this feels like something completely out of left field, and something pretty radical. So here's the quick story about how we arrived at this point.
Hi, I'm Kerry Britton, Senior Pastor at Village Baptist Church. My part in this story started on the last Sunday in June, when I actually resigned from my position as Senior Pastor. Following my announcement and my resignation, we had a lot of queries, a lot of questions from the church family about what was going to happen after I had left. One of the concerns was how much support there would be for Cam, and we had always intended that there would be a replacement for myself, but the church family wanted to know who that was, what that would look like, and how that would work. At the end of the day, as I was driving along, an idea came into my mind so strongly and so forcefully that I could only describe it as being a God-inspired idea. It occurred to me that Mike MacDonald of Arohanui would be an ideal replacement for myself, but also Mike and I had had many conversations through the years about what it would look like if the two churches merged. To me, it just seems really clear that there are a lot of benefits for both sides, and that together we could make a big difference in this community together. And so I had a talk to Cam, and I said, Cam, how do you think this would work, and do you think this is something we should investigate? Cameron said yes, he would be really keen, and so I sent a text to Mike and said, Mike, I've got a totally outrageous idea, why don't you give me a call?
Hi, I'm Mike, pastor here at Arohanui Christian Centre, and I was enjoying a very nice day off when Kerry sent me a very teasing text inviting me to have a listen to a wild idea. And having a listen to a wild idea, in fact, sounded like a great idea and an offer that I couldn't refuse. So Kerry phoned me and explained the dynamic vision that he'd sensed of what could be if we as two churches could partner together. Each church maintaining its unique qualities and assets, but together expanding the potential of both. And it struck me immediately as something that was very compelling, as did our elders.
And this triggered a time of dreaming, because if this is what God was calling us to, then what was the vision that God had for this union, this marriage of two churches? And we believe that it's this, that through working together we will establish a non-profit care centre for Havelock North, specifically focusing on the Anderson Park area, beginning with Christian counselling services, but expanding to include budgeting services, a food bank and social housing. It will provide wraparound care for those who are the most vulnerable and most struggling in our community. In fact, the Hastings Council have already indicated that if we were to go down this track, they would look to contract us for targeted council programs, and they would be comfortable with us talking about Jesus as we did so.
But not only will our coming together lead us to be more effective in reaching our community, it will also enable us to better nurture each other. And as we pull our resources together, enabling us to run high quality targeted training seminars on things like pastoral care, children's ministry, youth ministry, preaching, cultural awareness, a great list of potential things opens up before us. And I believe that these regular training events will not just function to nurture our own church family, but as we open it up to the local churches, will become key in growing the whole kingdom here in Hawke's Bay.
And all of this will enable us to, together, again, engage in experimental church planting. Planting churches that are designed to reach and nurture the unchurched by doing things just a little bit differently. Now this is a big, audacious vision, a future that we believe is led and inspired by the Holy Spirit. And this is why we will begin the first stage in this journey early next year, where Mike and I will work together in leading our churches, during which we will refine the finer points of how this union will work. And then after 6 months on this journey together, we'll then take a brief pause to talk about the journey that has been and consider the journey ahead.
These 6 months will function, if we can use a picture to sort of paint this a little bit, this will function like an engagement before a wedding, allowing for all of us to have a clear idea of what the future will look like before we say our vows, so to speak, and press on in earnest.
But at its core, what we and the elders believe is this, that God is calling us, His body, to come together so that we might more effectively reach our community, serve one another, and show the world what the community of God looks like. Whakapai te atua.
God bless.